Joining us now, one of the heroes of Super Bowl 59. I see the photo hovering over his shoulder of the moment. There it is, the moment that, for all intents and purposes, Super Bowl 59 was over. Defensive back, Cooper DeJean. Cooper, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Where's the football from that play?
It's actually right over there in a it's in a big old case right now.
Like never to be touched again by human hands?
Yeah, it's got the jersey, the helmet, and the ball, and all in one case.
You got to protect the ball because one of these days you're going to have kids and they're going to see a football and they're going to take it outside and they're going to throw it around on the street, right? And it's going to get all scuffed up. So keep a lock on that thing.
I know. I know.
I was looking at your background, born in South Dakota, high school and college in Iowa. What was the biggest culture shock for you to come to Philadelphia?
I think it was just the amount of people in one area. My town has a little under 1,000 people here in Oldie Bolt, and Iowa City was a bigger city than where I'm from, but it wasn't like Philadelphia is. So it took some getting used to the first few months I was there, but I've grown to love it, grown to love the city and all that it brings.
Oh, and it helps to be a Super Bowl hero, right? I assume you're a free drinks for life guy anytime you're in Philly.
I hope so. That'd be that'd be nice.
Well, you also may be free Casey's breakfast pizza for life guy. That's the group that's made you available to us today. Tell us a little bit about the partnership you have with them.
Yeah, Casey's is a great partner. A place I've gone to, since I was a kid. It's a big thing here in Iowa and all over the Midwest. And their breakfast pizzas is something that I've loved getting, since I was in high school, before school, after practice, whenever. And I know my parents, every time they tailgate at Iowa, when I was there, that breakfast pizza was a big part of their tailgate. So that was one of my first stops when I got back to Iowa was to Casey's. So it's good to be back home for a little bit during the bye week.
Yeah, I love pizza and I love breakfast, but in West Virginia, there's no Casey's chain near me. So we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to open a franchise. I don't know, maybe I have to plunk down a little money and try to open one up. And I think it would do well because I
Oh
know
yeah,
people love eggs and sausage and bacon and they love pizza and it's a hell of a combination.
yeah, it is. It's a great combination. I know it's a big thing here in Iowa. We're gonna have to get it to you somehow.
So I was reading the transcript of Vic Fangio's press conference from this week, and he was praising you as being one of the best nickel corners in the league already. How do you feel when you hear a guy who's been around as long as he has come up with that kind of an assessment of your skills?
Yeah, it's cool to hear. Not only he's been around for a long time, obviously coached a lot of great players. So to hear that means a lot. Especially coming from him, he's not a guy who just throws out compliments. So that means a lot, and I've learned a lot from him. Throughout my time here in Philadelphia, he's taught me a lot about the position and how to play it and in this defense. And, he's taught me how to learn, multiple positions on the defense. So just being able to hear that from him, means a lot to me. And I look forward to continuing to, try and make an impact, on this defense from that position or whatever position I'm at on the field.
Yeah, Cooper, he also said one of the reasons he thinks you lasted until round two, pick number 40, is because nobody realized the versatility that you had. I get the impression you didn't realize it either.
I mean, I played nickel a little bit in college, and corner. But I feel like, my body type and the way I'm built, I feel like I'm built for any of the three positions on the football field. It just so happens that I've played nickel first, a couple of years here, and then now I'm playing a little bit of corner. Obviously, I played a little bit of safety in this off season. But I feel like it's helped me a lot just understanding the defense from all three spots, and being able to know who's where in every single call within the defense. I think helps you a lot as a defensive back, whether you're playing corner or nickel or safety.
You said over the summer there's a lot that you can still get better at. Give me one way that you believe you've improved so far this season.
I think I've done a lot better in my man-to-man coverage so far this season. That's something that I still needed to work on. Coming into the NFL at Iowa, we didn't do a whole lot of man coverage. We played a lot of zone. So that's an area I needed to work on. I feel like I've improved on that. In this offseason and continue to over the course of this season. One of I give a lot of credit to Coach Christian Parker, our DB coach, who who's taught me a lot about different techniques and things like that, and how to cover at a high level. That's something I need to continue to get better at. But I feel like I've grown in that area a lot this offseason.
Cooper, what kind of things do you do, and really how much time do you spend on ball skills, tracking balls, catching balls, making sure when the opportunity to get an interception arises, you actually get it and deliver on it?
Yeah, I mean, us defensive backs, we do it every day in practice, during practice and after practice. Catch as many balls as we can. We also do a catch circuit, throughout during practice that Coach Sirianni, kind of came up with, to get the defensive guys involved, and on that to make sure we take advantage, of those opportunities when they come to us, which I think has helped a lot. Not only the defensive backs, but one of our outside linebackers got a pick last week in Minnesota, and he actually just threw them in the catch circuit the week prior to that. So that's a big thing that we talk about is taking advantage of our opportunities at turnovers, whether it's punching the ball out, forcing fumbles, or catching picks. When we have the opportunity to.
When you're with a high-profile team, there's a lot of attention, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of talk, and there has been plenty of discussion this year about the offense and struggles the offense has had. As a defensive player, how much of that do you hear, and how does the defense go about just shutting it out and focusing on what it has to do?
Yeah, I think obviously we hear it. We still have a job to go out there and do, and that's stop the other team from scoring points. And if we do that, usually puts us in a good position to win. But it's also us having each other's back. Whether the offense needs us or we need the offense. We got to have each other's back, and I feel like we've done that. This season. And obviously the season hasn't started out the way that we've wanted to. But I feel like we've continued to get better and continue to grow each and every single week. And that's the name of the game. You're not going to be good right at the beginning of the season, as much as everybody wants you to. It's about being good at the right time, and I feel like we've continued to grow and will continue to grow as a team.
What's it like having Brandon Graham back from retirement?
It's great. It's great. And, I think everybody missed him around the locker room. Just his energy that he brings to the building every day and into the practice field. His first day back, he was talking crap already, which is what he does. What he does best. And we felt his energy right when he stepped back in the building, and I can't wait to see him back out on the field and hear him talking again.
It all seemed to happen really fast. When did you first catch wind of it, whether it was chatter in the locker room or the phone starts blowing up, hey, Brandon Graham may be back? How long was it in the making before it all just kind of happened?
Shoot, I probably knew just a day before it was announced, that he was coming back. But I know I'd seen him around the building and working out and stuff. I thought he was just doing it just to stay in shape and stay around the building. But I guess he was preparing to make his way back, and I think everybody's grateful to have him back. especially on defense. We got a lot of young guys on our defense, so to have his veteran, presence and experience on our defense, again, I think it'll help a lot.
Big Dom is one of the most colorful characters on your team, one of the more colorful characters in the league. Give me a good Big Dom story you've picked up during your time in Philly.
Oh man, I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of stories from Big Dom. He's just a guy who can, take care of anything you need. Whether it's you need something the day of, whether you need it in the next 10 minutes. I've called him multiple times, for things I needed help with, and he's made it happen every single time. He's got someone for everything around the city of Philadelphia. And he's just a great guy to have in our building, and a great guy to be able to rely on whenever you need something.
I can't talk to an Eagles player without asking at least one tush push question, and I want to come at it from the defensive perspective. No one else can do it. Why do you think that no other team that you faced, or as far as we can tell, any other team can do it, especially the way that your offense can do it?
Man, I don't know. I think other teams can do it, just not as efficient as we can. And I think it's the guys we got up front. Starts with that, and then our quarterback and the guys pushing him. I think they've perfected it. I've watched them practice it, and multiple times. Never had to defend it. Thankfully, I don't even know where I'd fit in on that. But I think it's just a lot of large human beings, working together to gain, a couple yards, and they seem to do it at a high level. They do it at a high level, and I'm just glad I don't have to defend it.
Yeah, I think what you would want to be deep safety, just in case that.
Just in case
the quarterback breaks through.
Maybe. Yeah.
Somewhat serious topic, and it's turned the sports world upside down. I'm just curious, after everything that happened last week with the NBA, and we all know what went down, but has there been any additional meetings, training, anything for you and your teammates as it relates to just all the different things that can happen now that gambling is everywhere?
Yeah, we have a meeting, every year about it, but I think obviously with everything that's happened, we've gotten some more messages about it, and about, that topic, specifically, so you just gotta be careful, and, I think our team has done a good job of, echoing that message, about the sports gambling to us, to make sure we know all the rules, and that we don't end up getting in trouble for it.
What do they tell you about inside information? Because that seems to be one of the problems that I don't know that anybody can get their arms around, because anybody can pick up the phone and call someone. What do they tell you about talking beyond the walls of the building as it relates to injuries, game plans, whatever?
Just to keep, really just to keep in-house business in-house, and, not share anything, that doesn't need to be shared, with anybody outside the building, because we want to have every advantage on the field that we can, every single week. So that's really the biggest thing, just to keep things, in-house. That's not public knowledge. Obviously for things like that, and just for our opponents too.
One more before I let you go. You got two primetime games coming up, one against the Packers, and then Sunday Night Football on NBC against the Detroit Lions. Give me the best thing and the worst thing about playing night games.
Night games, I mean, the worst thing, I think, is having to wait all day. Especially on the East Coast. You got to wait till, I think, like 8:30 or something like that. at night to play a game, and you got to find out what to do all day. Obviously, you'll have a little walkthrough in the morning, but then you're free all day, so you gotta find something to do while staying off your feet, for the game later. But the best thing is, I think, the atmosphere, especially at home, the atmosphere in the link at night. You can't beat it. It seems like it ticks up a notch for night games, and that's what I love. Not only at home, but on the road too. It seems like atmospheres are always better at night.
Hey, I know one thing you can do while you're waiting for kickoff.
What's that?
Come on, man. Casey's breakfast pizza. For
Casey's breakfast pizza. You're right.
And for lunch.
Whenever you need it.
Tell us more about where we can find out about Casey's breakfast pizza and anything else that you want to tell us before we wrap up.
Yeah, Casey's is all over the Midwest. Obviously, you can stop in. You can get breakfast pizza, regular pizza, whatever you need. Food, drinks. They got it all, and it's a place I've been going to for a long time. If you got a big tailgate coming up, early morning game, stop into Casey's, grab you a breakfast pizza, and it'll have you ready to go for game day.
I don't know where West Virginia falls. They call us the South. They call us the North. They call us the East. I'll call us the Midwest. So I'm going to start lobbying to get one here, as long as it's close to my.
Yeah, we got to get one down there.
All right, man. Hey, Cooper, great talking to you, buddy. All the best going forward. Congratulations on the success. Have a great season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.